Well, good morning, guys. Once again, it is I, the chairman, and it has been a while since I have made my last video, so just things going on, really busy, a lot of stuff to watch, a lot of stuff to get through. I've been putting things up on eBay, so it's been taking my time, and it's just like every time I feel like trying to make a video, I think I can watch something else or do something else, so that's what's been going on. But I figured I definitely need to get back on the video train because there have been a lot of things that have come in that I think would be interesting to talk about. So one of them is the recent release from Grindhouse releasing in a 4K restoration of Death Game. Now, Death Game is a very much a classic exploitation Grindhouse film from the 1970s, directed by Peter Traynor and starring Sandra Locke, one of the queens of exploitation, Colleen Camp and Seymour Cassell. And this film I'm pretty sure not a lot of people know about, but they may be aware of the film that it influenced in a great deal. In fact, some people may say that it is a direct remake of this film, and that is the 2015 film Knock Knock, directed by Eli Roth, starring Keanu Reeves and Ana de Armas. And the story is basically a nice regular guy. He's a husband, he's a father, he's at home in his house, gets a knock on the door at night, it's raining, there's two young, very beautiful women appear to be lost, asking for his help. And so him being just a nice guy lets them in, and all sorts of things ensue. You know, they ended up seducing him, or the question is he really being seduced, or is he just seeing two beautiful women and he wants to have sex with them? But, you know, be that as it may, it all starts out nice, but then these two girls are clearly immoral, criminal types. You don't really, well, at least in Death Game, you don't really have any idea of who they are. You don't really know their background. You get the impression that they have been seriously abused because they definitely have some daddy issues. The film seems to very much focus on daddy issues, but then they end up basically making the guy, in Death Game's case, Seymour Cassell's character George, they make George's life a living hell. They wreck his house, they eat his food, they continue to beat him up, they tie him up, they submit him to all forms of abuse and degradation and things like that. And it is a very tough film to watch. I mean, it's not one of those films I think I will watch many times if ever, but it does look very, very good. I mean, it has been lovingly restored by Grindhouse in a 4K restoration, as I mentioned. So it comes in 2 discs. It comes in a feature of the film on Blu-ray, and what this does include is it includes another film in there called Little Miss Innocence, which is an earlier film that I think was similar. I only watched like the first few minutes of it, but it's probably a similar film in the sense that it's a guy picks up 2 girls. Things start off looking one way, but then it ends up being something different. And there's been a few of these films, a few of these stories that have been made over the years, and the film claims that the story is based on a true story, and I don't really know exactly how true it is, but we have this booklet in here, and the booklet details the production, the history of the film and kind of what influenced it, and its production history, and apparently had a really turbulent production history because the Seymour Cassell, who played George, apparently got so fed up with just the experience of filming a certain scene that he just wouldn't cooperate with the filmmakers anymore. And so apparently his voice had to be dubbed by another actor, and this was sudden. They didn't even obviously expect that he was going to just, I mean, he didn't quit, but he stopped, I guess he stopped doing anything more than what he needed to do in terms of just finishing his commitment in the filming, and he didn't want to come back and do ADR or redub the lines. So the director had to find a replacement because he couldn't have the guy doing only half the lines. So Um, that's Death Game. And so what was interesting was that we know Grindhouse releasing. They initially released this in a super limited version that included a little toy meat cleaver, because a meat cleaver features in this film, and I saw this on their social media. It had been passed around a lot. They were really promoting this film a lot, and I wasn't going to get that. I was pretty certain that they would come out with just a more standard version, which they later on did. Apparently the initial release sold quite well, and what they were doing was that they were screening the film in theaters along with the Knock Knock, and that obviously helped to spread the word about this latest restoration of theirs. And Grindhouse releasing, they're kind of like a second sight in terms of they don't do very many films at all, but what they do is quite well done. And like, for example, they have done The Swimmer, and another film that I also got on theirs is Corruption, starring Peter Cushing, and I haven't given this a watch yet, but I'm looking forward to doing that. So they're like the niche of the niche in terms of putting out a very limited selection of titles, but putting a lot of effort and a lot of work into making sure that those titles look as good as possible. And I will say that for the most part, this did look very good. Now there were a few scenes that were kind of soft. They had this kind of halo. I wouldn't say halo, but kind of like a glow or something behind the characters. It was a little, almost looked like a little double exposed. I don't know the actual cinematographic term for it, or the photographic term, but almost looked a little double exposed. And I think that was just because that one reel or that one cut was just there, something just happened to it, or it was damaged, or something was just not quite right with the original source. Obviously, it had nothing to do with the scan or the restoration. It was just the quality of the source that they were dealing with. But everything else looked really good. I mean, this film could have been done on 4K. Grindhouse have not done anything on 4K. I think it's just probably just budgetary reasons. They probably just haven't found a film that was that they felt suitable to be presented fully in 4K. So they've done the 4K restorations. They just haven't done an actual 4K Ultra HD release. So hopefully one day they will. They'll find a good film to do that. But so far they've put in a very good effort with Death Game, and this was like $35 on their site. It just got released like within a few weeks, so I immediately put in an order for it because I had been waiting for them to come out with this standard edition. So anyway, that's Death Game. If you're really interested, go to the website Grindhouse Releasing and check it out, and see if you want to pick up a copy for yourself. Well, until then, this has been the Chairman, and I will talk to you later. See you.